Hi guys, MJ here from Legendary Modern Gaming, and today is a special day, not only because it's my birthday. Sorry about that, guys. No, because today I've got a special video. 5 iconic YouTubers today, together with me, will answer the question, how do you collect your games? Do you go physical? Do you go digital? A little mix of both? Do you pre-order the modern releases or wait till the price drop? How do you collect your games? Today we're going to answer that for you. And the first one to start is my good friend Callum from Retro Ghetto. Take it away, my friend.
Hey Misha, how's it going? It's Callum here, aka Retro Ghetto. So you've asked me a couple of questions. I've got them written down. I'm an old man, I'm still using pen and paper. How do I collect my games? Well, as you can see from the mess that is currently my games room, I've got most of the games that I ever wanted, to be honest. So you've asked me, like, when I go out, what kind of things do I look for? Well, I just kind of see what I see at this point, right? I kind of put myself in a situation where I'm going to be around games, wherever that's going to local CX stores that we got here in the UK, going to game markets, specialised mom and pop video game style stores, and then I just hope to see something that's going to grab my attention, something I've never seen before, something rare, something weird and wonderful. And that's the great thing about this hobby, mate. I'm still finding things all these years later that I never knew existed. So they're the kind of things that I pick up. In terms of new games, I very, very rarely buy new games anymore. It'd have to be something very special. It'd have to be like a God of War or a Zelda for me to pre-order or have to day one. I've got so many games, the backlog is so big, I'm not really in a rush to play anything the day it comes out, so it's very rare that I buy new games, and I don't collect for modern systems, I don't collect for PlayStation 5, and I'm probably not even going to collect for Nintendo Switch 2, which is crazy for me because I'm a Nintendo fanboy. This will probably be the first Nintendo console that I don't actively collect for. I'm just not feeling it, and you've got to draw the line somewhere as a collector, right? You've only got so much space, there's only so many systems you can collect for, so I think I've pretty much drawn the line at Switch, PlayStation 4, that era. That's the end of my collecting journey. I think that's pretty much covered everything. So like I say, full sets aside, which I'm still going for a full Super Nintendo set. We've got the PS3 Essentials, which I couldn't have done without you, my friend. Thanks for hooking me up with so many of them. I've never forgotten that, by the way. But those kind of sets aside, I just see what I see in person. Whatever floats my boat, whatever takes my fancy, that's what I buy. But Misha, you're a top man. Anybody watching this, make sure you subscribe to Misha's channel. You won't find many better people in the community than him. Appreciate it. Take care. In a bit, my friend.
Hey everyone, and thank you to Misha for inviting me onto his channel. Big yourself up, mate, much appreciated. And my name's Tony Wisbit from Wisbit's Random Gaming. Now my good friend Misha has asked me today a question regarding game collecting. How do you collect your games? And I believe what he's trying to get to the bottom of here is asking a few different people from different countries on how they collect their games, their gaming habits per se. So how do I collect my games? Well, when it comes to the retro kind of things, currently I'm not collecting much cartridge-based stuff. I'm only collecting disc-based stuff at the moment because I just don't really have the room at the moment, other than Evercade products. So when it comes to Evercade products, I buy them, pre-order them because I want to stay on top of the collection. Same when it comes to Switch games as well, the new stuff. I pretty much buy them direct from the manufacturers, such as Limited Run Games and companies similar to that. When it comes to the retro stuff, we're talking disc-based stuff, your PlayStation 1, 2, 3, etc. Yeah, I'll find some here and there in charity shops, but I've never really had the greatest of luck when I'm going around charity shops. So I wouldn't say I tend to use them in order to fund my collecting habits. I do use CEX in the UK quite regularly, and how I tend to build up my collection with those kind of games is I tend to find stuff, trade in, get vouchers, and then I'll put them vouchers towards those games that I want to add to my collection. That is pretty much it. Other than that, when it comes to new games, like I said, I tend to buy direct from the manufacturers. Occasionally, I'll buy things when they're on sale from mainstream shops like Argos in the UK, and places like that. You've got Smith's Toys, Amazon as well. Of course, Amazon have some great deals. But yeah, CEX and my local independent shops are primarily where I pick up my stuff from. And as I said, I do try my very best to spend as little cash as possible. And by doing so, I use CEX so that I can trade in and get the vouchers. So yeah, that's how I pretty much fund my collection. Let's see what the rest of the people have got to say. Misha, once again, thanks for inviting me onto the channel, and I hope you're well. Take care.
Hello everyone. Thanks MJ for inviting me. I'm Sebastian from the Van Gameburger podcast, new podcast online where we talk about our games. You asked me today, where do I buy my games? I am mostly a physical collector. As you can see behind me, I focus mainly on Nintendo Switch and now Nintendo Switch 2. But me, I live in the Middle East. And in the Middle East, prices can be quite outrageous. On average, about 30% higher than even in the US or in Europe. So if you calculate the conversion from local currency to dollars or euros, things are probably about $100 for a game. So let's start with this kind of game, Donkey Kong Bonanza. This is a first-party title. It's released everywhere in the world. These I do actually buy locally in a game store, mostly for the reason that for my job, I get a lot of vouchers, a lot of gift cards as rewards. And those can't be spent in a lot of places, but I like to spend them in electronic stores and buy these kind of games for free. Because honestly, I think these games are heavily overpriced, but if I can use a gift card, it's kind of like getting it for free anyway. So it's my trick to getting expensive games relatively cheap. Now, for most other games, I like to collect rare games, games that are not in the most common stores. And for that reason, I mostly import my games. I buy them in 3 different websites. The websites I use are Amazon, PlayAsia, and Video Games Plus. Amazon, I'm sure everyone knows. Oftentimes they'll have free shipping if you order above a certain amount, which makes it good. And of course, I can pay in dollars or in euros, so that helps, which makes it a lot cheaper. Then I buy oftentimes from PlayAsia. That's one of the main platforms I use. Why do I use PlayAsia? Because specifically for Switch games, there are different versions of each game for different regions. And I have 3 examples that I brought here with me. Your Switch can play games from every region. There's no such thing anymore as region locking that we had in years past. But still, the versions can be different depending on where they were released. A good example of this, for example, I have right here, Final Fantasy X and X-2. It's a collection. It was released everywhere in Europe, in the US, but the version that I have is the Asian version, which you can't get in stores. This is because this is the only version where everything is on the cartridge. The American version, the European version, if I'm correct, they only have the main game or 10 on the cartridge, and 10.2 is a download code. This one actually has everything on the cartridge, so I much prefer this, obviously. Then I have New Pokemon Snap. This is the Japanese version. Why did I buy the Japanese version? Simple, it's half the price. In Japan, games can oftentimes be a lot cheaper than in the US or in Europe. I bought this for half the price that the European version was going for, and it works exactly the same. The only difference is the Japanese writing on the box. And if you start the game up, it's completely fine. And finally is another example I have here, Capcom Fighting Collection 2. This wasn't released in Europe at all. You had to import it either from the US or from Asia, so that's what I did. So short answer for me, I mostly buy my games online, PlayAsia or Video Games Plus. They're 2 websites that have oftentimes have free shipping above a certain amount. They have a large selection of games that you can't get in physical stores, and prices are very decent. Thanks for inviting me, and have a great day.
Hi, I'm Jen Tate, aka RetroGen. I've been a gamer pretty much most of my life, which is quite some time now. And I used to be a big collector in the 2000s. I worked for a company called GameStation. I also worked for a company called Game and Granger Games as well. But GameStation, I managed to pick up some really cool items at like really cheap prices. I got my Steph discount. I got first dibs. I got like loads of really cool posters, standees, loads of freebie stuff, and it all went. I sold my entire collection. I got a trip to Japan out of it, but yeah, I kind of have some regret of doing that, like a lot of people do. But yeah, I do miss those days of collecting because you used to have midnight launches as well, and people got really excited about actually physically going to the store and picking up a game. There was so much hype around new releases. And I feel like digital, I totally get why people like it. It's instant, it doesn't take up any space. But I just feel like it's lost some charm for a new release. I don't get excited like I used to. So yeah, for me, physical is definitely how I prefer to collect. I do like to collect games in person. That's how I like to buy my games. I really like independent stores. We're very lucky in the northeast of England and the Midlands that we have such a cool selection. I know not a lot of countries, especially in Central Europe, they don't have as much cool stuff. And even in London, I don't think there's as much choice as what we have up here. So very blessed to have such a cool like selection of stores that we can go to. I feel like the staff members are always lovely. And if you buy a lot of stuff, you do usually get a discount. So I do like to buy in bulk when I buy games. I feel like that's where you get the better deals. I also love gamer markets. I think they're really good if you're just starting out with your collecting. I think now it's hard to kind of find stuff that I don't already own that I want. And I prefer to go then for more of the social aspect. And that's why I like collecting physically as well. I feel like it's a really nice community. I've met some amazing people, joined loads of cool groups. And yeah, I feel like it's just a lot of fun. It's just much better than digital for me personally. In terms of new games, I'm not a big new gamer. I am more of a retro gamer. I like to just play games that I've already played a million times. I just like the nostalgia of it. I think a lot of people my age are very much the same. I think we're kind of yearning for that 80s, 90s feeling that we used to have, which we'll never get back, but it's close enough. And, you know, I've kind of created this 90s vibe room that I absolutely love. I'll just sometimes walk in and just stare at my games because I just love like the feeling that I get looking at the physical stuff that I own. And yeah, for pre-orders, I'm not a big gamer for like the new stuff, so I very rarely pre-order games these days unless it's something that I really, really want. And if it comes with a cool steelbook, that can sometimes sway me. So like Silent Hill recently came out with a steelbook. I love those games and I knew I wanted a day one. Happy to pre-order it then. Tomb Raider that recently came out, the trilogy ones, they've came out digitally first. So I've obviously bought it digitally because it was my only option. And when it comes out physically, then I will also buy the physical copy because I love it that much. But apart from that, I don't really buy a lot of new stuff on day one. I can happily wait a few months, if not more, and then I'll pick it up a bit cheaper at like CEX or online or Vinted or something like that. And I think digitally, I'm not a huge fan, like I said, but on the Switch, I do think it's quite good. I do have quite a big catalogue of digital Switch games. There's quite a lot of cool indie stuff. If a Mario comes out, I will buy that physically. But yeah, the little stuff, the little cheap stuff, I'll happily buy like a digital copy if I'm playing a game late at night and I want something like there and then. It is a really cool option, and they have like a lot of cheap sale stuff on there quite often. So apart from that, that's the only way I really get digital stuff these days. And yeah, in summary, definitely more physical media for me. It's just, I get so much joy out of it. And like I say, it's cool getting a chat with other collectors who are also into it. It's such a great community. And digital, I totally get it. I see the appeal. But yeah, I just don't think I'm ever going to be a digital collector. Ever, really. This is how I'm going to be forever. I'm set in my ways. Physical media all the way for sure.
Hello, Legendary Modern Gaming. My name is Maurice. I'm the games tester on YouTube, and thank you for the invitation to get me on your channel. You had some questions about how I collect games and stuff, and yeah, I'm happy to oblige to those questions. So yeah, I'm really curious, what kind of questions do you have for me? So the first one I see is, how do you collect your games? Well, MJ, that's really simple how I collect my games. It's 99% digitally. You know, I'm one of those guys. I love my games digital. I got all my consoles digital. I got 3 PlayStation 5s. They are all 100% digital editions. PlayStation 5 base, PlayStation Slim, PlayStation 5 Pro, they're all digital consoles, and that's because I use more than one console at the same time to make my video. So for me, digital is always better than having it physical, because I constantly need to use all these different consoles. It's not doable for me. So I think I started going fully digital like 10 years ago already. I think it was like, the end of the Xbox 360, start Xbox One era, where I was like, why am I still buying these discs? You know, they are mostly like coasters with a key on it to download the game, at least for me, how I saw it. Because you need to update these games and you need to keep them, and I went digital. You know, maybe in some instances it's a little bit more expensive, but for me it's 100% worth it. You know, I rather pay $10 extra for a digital version of the game than $10 less for a physical game. And now I hear you say, but Maurice, there's no worth in it, or you can't resell it. You know, let's be honest, you know, 98% of the games you buy are worthless after a couple of months. So yeah, if you buy a new Assassin's Creed for $80 or whatever, in 6 months, that game is worth maybe $20 if you're lucky. And you know, that's also why I don't buy physical anymore. It's not that I'm completely 100% digital only. I still buy some, you know, Nintendo Switch games here and there. So if I really like them, or if the price is good, you know, for Nintendo Switch, it sometimes makes sense, especially for Nintendo Switch 2, when a game like Cyberpunk 2077 is like 70 or 60 GB and it's fully on the cartridge, then it makes sense to me. But the only games I sometimes get are like, you know, Xbox 360 titles. These are the ones I sometimes find for cheap, and I still want to have them, especially the more obscure ones. Like a couple of weeks ago, I got this one, X-Men Wolverine. One of those games that's amazing, but yeah, you don't see it that often anymore. Where do you mostly pick up games? Well, internet. If I buy them, I will go on the internet, check if I can see them, or I will go to my local game store. We have a couple here in the neighborhood. Really nice retro game store in Hengelo, where I love to go to. It's from a good friend of mine, Lito. Lito has his own like classic game store. It doesn't sell any new games. It's only retro games in that store. And I love to go by and just get that feeling back from the old days, you know, NES games, Super Nintendo, Mega Drive, Game Boy. I love it. Do I want to own it? No, I don't need to own it anymore. Do you also buy new modern releases? And if so, do you pre-order? No. And I see a lot of people say, but Maurice, you play almost every game. Yes, that's correct. I'm ultra, mega, super privileged. You know, I got a really big YouTube channel. So I get like 99.9% of all games that come out for free. You know, I get all these games in my mailbox as a key. Maurice, do you want to play this game for your channel? And that's how I get 99.9% of my games. So I never pre-order. I never buy digitally. Well, not completely true. You know, if there's like a really good sale or something like that, a digital sale, or there's like a really cool Humble Bundle on PC or whatever, I will definitely buy those, you know, and sometimes I even get double games. I don't mind that much. You know, I got a Steam library, I got a Xbox library that's pretty big, I got a PlayStation library that's pretty big. So yeah, I do buy games, but only when they are on sale. That's the only thing, you know. Last week they had like a Play Anywhere sale on the Xbox. All kinds of nice JRPGs and smaller indie games for like €1 a piece. So I think I bought like 40 games or something at once. You know, that's €40. And so, but yeah, no, I don't buy new games because I'm like super privileged that I always get all these games from the big developers, you know. I never, and most of the time I even get the games like weeks before they come out even. So, yeah, I do wish, sometimes I do miss it, you know, really looking forward to a game when it comes out back in the day, you know, if there was like a new Gears of War or a new God of War game that came out, you know, you're so anticipated to play that game. You even took a day off from work and on your bicycle to the store to see if they already have the game in, and you get the game and you're like, oh. Yeah, those are the times I sometimes do miss. But on the other hand, you know, I play so many games. I wish I could go back in time sometimes. So yeah, that's a little bit how I do collecting my video games. So yeah, I got lots of games. Thousands, literally thousands. But yeah, I'm not a collector anymore. For me, it literally became work. Sadly, because I sometimes really would love to enjoy just sitting back, relaxing on my couch with a controller in my hand and just enjoy the game as it is. No embargoes or whatever, or when I need to have the videos on time, you know. That's the things I do miss. So, yeah, that's a little bit my story about collecting games. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to check out my channels, go on YouTube, and that's youtube.com/@the-games-tester. And you will find all my videos about Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, even the Xbox Ally. You can even check out the Xbox Ally, the brand new Xbox, and the Nintendo Switch. I got all of them. So yeah, please go check them out. Thank you for watching, and thank you for having me on your show, MJ. It's really nice, and hopefully till soon. Bye.
And there you have it, guys. Oh my God, I'm so proud of these guys teaming up with me to make an awesome video for you guys. But I'll give you my take on this matter. For me, I mostly collect games, buying them in stores like MediaMarkt or Game Mania, but unfortunately Game Mania is gone. So mostly on Game Mania or online at bulk.com. They have great deals there sometimes too, especially at MediaMarkt, because every purchase you do there, every euro you get 1 point. And if you have a certain amount of points, you get a voucher of €20. So yeah, it's very helpful to get your games there. And also, I get them a lot via a site called Marktplaats, where they sell secondhand stuff or new stuff, mostly secondhand, so you can pick up some great deals there. Yeah, on my Xbox, I mostly collect digital. I have Game Pass on it, so all the games I play, I download them. I've bought some games there too, like Cyberpunk 2077 and the expansion, but mostly what I play is physical, because I'm old school. I just love to have something in my hands. I know nowadays with all these games, you know, it's mostly like a code or a license to download it, and then you have the update and the patch. I know about that, but still for me, nothing beats the charm going to a game store, looking at a game, looking at the back, and owning it. Because that's the thing. When you have the game digital, it feels for me that you don't own anything. With this, I still feel that I own the game, just like before in the NES and Super Nintendo time, my time, or Game Boy. And do I pre-order? Yeah, I do. Sometimes when there are certain games like Mortal Kombat, I cannot wait. If I know that they're going to be released soon, I'll definitely pre-order every Mortal Kombat. Same with Resident Evil or Silent Hill. I also pre-ordered the Silent Hill F game. I really couldn't wait to play that. But sometimes it would be better for me to just wait it out, get it a couple of months later and save some money. But sometimes I just cannot wait. I need to get it. And there you have it, guys. I want to give a huge thanks to all the people who joined me in this video. I'll put descriptions to the channels down below. Check them out, subscribe, they're awesome. And I can't thank them enough for helping me out in this great video. On my birthday, I'm so happy. Look at this smile. Guys, check out all the videos on my channel Legendary Modern Gaming. Like, subscribe, help me out, and let's grow this place to one huge gaming paradise. Bye bye, guys.